Welcome folks! Following the numeric requests, I'm happy to share a few more Grim Dawn builds of mine, following the main principles so they are strong and fun to play at the same time. Ranged characters are usually my favorite in any RPG and GD is not an exclusion. So today I'm showing 5 crazily strong ranged builds that can clear hardest game roguelike dungeons like it's nothing, easily and fast, kill the hard bosses and farm both Crucible and Shattered Realm on extensively high levels. Remember that the build calculator pages showing every skill and devotion point distribution as well as recommended items are linked down below. Let's take a look. The first and probably most ridiculously strong build today is a two-handed ranged Pyromancer, a combination of Demolitionist and Occultist masteries that can land over 500,000 chaos damage crits per hit while maintaining a great survivability, killing regular bosses in dungeons in just a few hits, and even much more brutal bosses like the Nemesis bosses or, as I'm showing now, boss like Kraval in just 11 seconds, without even the need to avoid his attacks that most of builds would require to do in order to take him down. This build is super easy to play with just 2 active skills to spam, and its notable feat is that multiple stacking effects from different attacks will constantly decrease enemy damage as well as enemy chaos resistance for over 100%, further increasing already huge build damage bursts and allowing you to deal great damage to even most resistant bosses. You will also have a good lifesteal able to restore your entire HP bar in a single crit, and a good physical damage resistance, which is important to survive many tough enemy one-shots. It's easy to level up from zero as well. Begin entirely as a Demolitionist. The Blackwater Cocktail is your best friend here. It has both large damage and area of effect, and also debuffs the enemy. Make sure to take its high potency upgrade already at level 2, and then max the base skill itself ASAP. Then max the Fire Strike base skill. After that, max the Vindictive Flame. It provides movement speed bonus and regen, which is good for leveling and exploring and just good every time. Then Syrian Might upgrade, Demon Fire upgrade for the Blackwater Cocktail skill, and the Blast Shield. These are the core skills for the fast and safe level ups, and as for the other skills, take the rest showed in the calculator at will, taking either offensive or defensive skills depending on how safe your character feels right now. The devotion is wrapped around maximizing your chaos damage and chance to crit, while also getting resistance shredding abilities and extra survivability in form of the protective shield and lifesteal. The main items focus in this build is the Harbinger set. That helps to convert your damage from attacks and skills to chaos damage to maximize the output, as well as giving unique bonuses to your core passive and active occultist skills, which are furtherly increasing the damage synergy. Lastly, when your health drops below half, this set ultimate passive bonus kicks in, giving you complete invincibility and the huge damage boost for 8 seconds. The rest of recommended items are in the calculator page as well. Your core attributes are physique and cunning, with attribute points spent approximately 60 to 40% respectively. The key components, augments, and movement skill augment are listed in the build calculator page as well. The next one is a dual-wielding Gunslinger Infiltrator, combination of Inquisitor and Nightblade. Shooting the barrages of cold bullets with a bit of piercing damage on top, this build also has ridiculous crit chance with both amazing movement and attack speed, as well as great defensive capabilities in form of physical resistance and decent extra dodge chance. But that's not everything. Most of its damage comes from auto-attack bursts, greatly empowered and enchanted from multiple different procs and frequent critical hits. It also has 2 defensively healing skill at once and a passive aura that decreases enemy both movement and attack speed and the hit chance, which adds to its resilience even further. Begin leveling up through Amarasta's Blade Burst skill in Nightblade, which is just generally good for leveling. Then max the Pneumatic Burst basic skill for healing and movement speed bonus. Then in Inquisitor, max the Ranged Expertise, Chilling Rounds, and the Word of Renewal base skill for even more stacking healing and movement speed bonuses, together with its Vigor upgrade. After you have done that, unlearn the Amarasta's Blade Burst down to just level 1 and instead max the Lethal Assault upgrade. From now on, this skill acts not as a direct damage, but rather as a buff that activates on its usage and gives you lots of extra damage passively. Now invest just couple points into the Veil of Shadow basic skill and max out its upgrade, Night's Chill. After that, feel free to get the rest of the skills highlighted in the calculator page on will, preferably alternating offensive and defensive ones. Devotion is wrapped around maximizing your cold damage output together with applying multiple extra debuffs on the enemies to slow them down and make their attacks miss, as well as decreasing enemy elemental resistance while increasing your own. And finally, adding some extra direct survivability in form of protective shield and high lifesteal when below half of your health. The key items are the Rhyme Tongue set that is generally fitting these build stats greatly, as well as improving some other core skills for even more damage synergy and further enemy resistance shredding, and dual Haggaradian Enforcers as your weapons. Your core attributes here are Physique and Cunning as well, with attribute points spent approximately 70 to 30% respectively. Remember that the key components, augments and movement skill augment are listed in the build calculator page for these and all other builds. The next build is also dual-wielding Witchblade, combination of Occultist and Soldier that is capable on landing over 250,000 damage crits from each of his chaotic revolvers, and drown enemies in debilitating AoE debuffs from both on skills and on hit procs, as well as multiple damaging on hit procs. The build has good survivability through extra damage absorption and reduced enemy damage debuff, as well as healing from skill and lifesteal. For the fast leveling early, it's recommended to start with Drake's Evil Eye, as highlighted by the dashed outline. Then max Soleil Witchfire, Blood of Drake and Curse of Frailty with its upgrade. After that, unlearn what you have invested into the Drake's Evil Eye and use these points to max Zoltan's Technique and Fighting Spirit. After that, get the rest of the skills highlighted in the build calculator page, prioritizing to get Occultist ones first and then Soldier's Warcry with the Terrify upgrade. Devotion points distribution is about maximizing the chaos damage and the on-hit proc bursts, as well as furtherly debuffing enemies and adding some extra tenacity to the build. The core items are the Darkblaze Incinerator and Exterminus as weapons to help convert your physical part of the damage to chaos, Ranzine set furtherly improving your direct damage, healing and enemy resistance shredding, and 2 pieces from the Harbinger set. The core attributes are Physique and Cunning, points spent 60 to 40 respectively. The build number 4 is a two-handed Ritualist, a mix of Shaman and Necromancer, ethereal damage based with the Shaman's lightning damage converted to ethereal as well bonker. Compared to the other builds in this list, it has somewhat lower damage output, but on the other hand, better general survivability, a notable up to 60% extra phys resist on top of the armor itself, a large lifesteal, health regen of 800 points per second, and a half bubble, activated extra 60% damage absorption for tough moments. Damage-wise, the build relies on the damage from the Primal Strike active skill, nearly capped attack speed with variety of on-hit procs, which also apply multiple control effects and debuffs, most notably 5 different stun effects that can basically stun lock most of the regular enemies and champions, but also confusion, decreased attack speed and good enemy resistance shredding. The early leveling is quite simple and fast, based entirely on Shaman. Begin from maxing Savagery and getting the Might of the Bear upgrade, then get the Primal Strike base skill, then Brute Force, any its Feral Hunger upgrade, then Torrent upgrade for the Primal Strike, Tenacity of the Boar upgrade for Savagery, and the Upheaval upgrade for the Brute Force. Then get the rest of the skills, and when getting the Necromancer skills, begin from the supporting ones, like the Spectral Binding or Mark of Torment. The Devotion setup is built around increasing your aether and lightning, that's furtherly converted to aether as well, damage, getting more stun effects and various other debuffs, as well as stacking lifesteal and other forms of survivability. The core items are the Whale Keeper set, that's perfect for this build synergy, Vortex of Souls two-handed gun, and 2 pieces from the Krieg's Fury set that generally fits the build and adds the 5th stun proc. Your core attributes are Physique and Cunning, with the points spent 60 to 40% respectively. The last build for today is the Manifestation of Fire and Lightning, dual-wielding ranged Purifier, mix of Demolitionist and Inquisitor, with the maximum possible attack speed, huge crit chance and multiple on-hit damage procs and abilities. This build launches a ridiculous barrage of shots, and his entire damage is based purely on auto attacks, which makes it the most no-brainer build to play in this list. It has only one active class skill that's used as an AoE debuff to make enemies miss you and increase your own crit chance against them furtherly. What is also great is that these skill debuffs also fully work on bosses. The downside of this particular build is it has smaller survivability capabilities against direct damage compared to the other builds, but it still can easily clear all existing hardest game dungeons without stopping, as well as kill harder bosses like the Kraval, and to farm high level Crucible and Shattered Realm waves with just minimal kiting. For the early leveling, max the Fire Strike skill first and its first upgrade, then max out Vindictive Flame basic skill, then Flame Touch base skill, then an Inquisitor ranged expertise and the Bursting Round skills, and then back into the Demolitionist Flashbang and its upgrade. Devotion here is built up around elemental damage bonuses, which affect both fire and lightning damage parts of the build. One purely fire constellation, Rhowan's Crown for enemy elemental resistance shredding, and a few extra constellations for general damage bonuses and survivability. The core items are Dagalon's Distraction set and twice of respectively 2 set pieces from Invoker's Will and Alzain's Infernal Avatar sets. The core attributes are Physique and Cunning, with the points spent approximately 70 and 30% respectively. That's all for now, folks. I hope you have enjoyed this video and the builds will serve you for many hours of fun in Grim Dawn. Make sure to enable channel notifications and join our Discord to always stay in touch about upcoming videos and projects. And remember that you can find more of my Grim Dawn builds on my website, and always ask regarding any kind of build details in my Discord. To support my work directly, take a look at my Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee pages linked down below. Stay tuned, stay safe and stay happy. Sinitar here, signing out.